about to present the 2024 budget. It's a very crucial one that also is under an IMF program. What are your expectations?
We know what the IMF document is, fiscal consolidation, trying to narrow the gap between revenue and expenditure. So the budget cannot be far from that. Um, in this time, it's not a time to advise the government to reduce taxes. However, there are some taxes that I would call for its removal, like the sanitary tax, and then find a way to substitute it in an area that is growing well. So you reduce the taxes from the areas of the sector that are struggling, and then you go and tax more in the areas that are doing well, like the extractive sector, like the telcos. I would have mentioned the bankings, but they have suffered a lot from the DDEP, and the other sectors that are also doing well. So try and do some reshuffling of taxes, remove from the areas that are struggling, and go impose in the areas that are doing well. We also expect some policy reforms. The government has just 1 year to finish their term. They've promised a number of things to Kenyans. They have their flagship program. They would want to complete all the flagship programs, and I'm not sure they'll complete all. So they should privatize. And number one on their list should be the agri sector. They have Planting for Food and Jobs as their flagship program. They should invest heavily in the agri sector. Why do I say so? If you invest in agri sector, you are creating jobs because it has a high employment generating potential. You are also taming food inflation because that is the area the food inflation is higher than the national average. So you want to push in the farmers with lower credit. The exchange rate is stabilized, but you can give farm inputs, fertilizers, pesticides to farmers at a lower cost, and therefore they can also produce. When they finish production, store the food and then release them during the lean season. Make sure that the transportation from the farm gate to the market is also comfortable because there's a big gap between the farm gate price and then the market price. There's a huge gap which must be closed. For talking about agri, there's too much profiteering in the market. People are taking advantage of the seemingly dire economic situation, and they are just profiteering. So I want the government to introduce weighing of food items on a scale. It is done in some countries. So if I want to buy yam, there should be a scale. Put the tuber of yam on the scale. The weight of it will determine the price. In this case, at least we can control the profiteering. Another aspect that the government should prioritize is the manufacturing. We have always been preaching local manufacturing. So the pharmaceutical is there. You can mention clothing, you can mention textiles, you can mention any other local production that we need. Let's incentivize them. Let's make sure that they can produce at a lower cost.